I'm John Villarreal Rigney, and I'm running for the United States Congress for the 15th District in Texas.
Well, John, it's great to meet up with you again. I know we met up last time when you ran, unsuccessfully that time.
Correct.
Tell us what your attributes are that the people in the district should know about as to why you'd be a good congressman.
I mean, I believe that my entire education, my background, my history, where I came from, is what's going to make me the best congressman that we can have for this district. And so, I grew up poor. My mother immigrated from Mexico. I know the history of the struggles that the people coming to this country are suffering, wanting to get, come for a better life. But, I came up from nothing. And my father passed away when I was 11. I worked like a dog to get up a little bit in higher status in life. I worked very hard to pay for my college education. And I became an engineer. I worked hard. I built my construction company, and I became an attorney. I've done, through my construction company, I've done infrastructure jobs. I've done drainage projects. I've done road projects. I've done many, many building projects. And the Valley needs that. The Valley is growing by leaps and bounds, and we need somebody in Washington that understands the needs of the Valley for all of that, all of the above. Water, sewer, storm, drainage, flood control. We need people to go up there and understand our needs and fight for funding. Bring funding down to the Valley for those projects.
Are those needs? So, John, are you saying that the needs of the Rio Grande Valley are not being met at the moment?
I don't believe they're being met. I mean, there's money that has come down, there's projects being done, but it's not enough. The Valley is growing. It has doubled and tripled in size in the last 10 years. It's probably going to double again in the next 10 years, I believe is a projection. And we are not ready to handle that type of growth without the proper water lines, sewer lines, storm drain, flood control, levees, dams. We need all of that. And without knowing how to bring money for those projects down for the different needs of the community, you're not going to be successful in Washington.
What's your platform? What are the top issues for you?
Well, my top issues are really what the Valley needs, what our entire district needs, and even the adjacent districts. We need job security, we need better paying jobs, we need border control, we need security, we need health care, we need education. Those are the primary goals. I mean, everybody is struggling to feed the families, to put gas in the tanks. And all of that comes down to the economy, and the economy needs to be bolstered.
So you're on the campaign trail now. What are you hearing most of all from the voters?
That's what I'm hearing, exactly. I mean, people are saying, John, thank God you're running. We're glad that we have you running. We're glad that we have somebody with business experience, someone who's educated, somebody who can go to Washington and fight for what we need. And they're telling me this is what we need. We need jobs, we need health care, we need border reforms, border security, and I want to go fight for those things.
What policies will you be supporting, if elected, to ensure that this region's economy, which is growing so fast, you've already mentioned the growth is there, what do you feel we need to do to keep that growth sustained?
Well, in order to sustain, the growth is going to continue. The Valley is just leaps and bounds. New businesses are opening up every day. There's, companies from the north coming down, growing down here. I build homes, I build commercial buildings, restaurants, all this stuff. Home construction doesn't stop. It has not stopped. Where other parts of the country face downturns in the home construction, the Valley keeps booming. But we need money for those things. We need people that are trying to buy these homes. They need jobs. We need to lower the interest rate so people can afford them, but yet manage the economy properly. But again, in all of that growth that we're going to face, we need infrastructure. We need to be able to handle the growth. And the Valley right now is not prepared to handle that growth.
Everyone says that small businesses are the bedrock of the economy. What will you do to help small businesses if elected to Congress?
Again, small businesses need they need a lot of help, right? Everybody wants a higher wage. Everybody's fighting for increase in minimum wage, and that's great. We need a living wage. But all these small businesses also need help. the more they have to pay the employees, the more they're going to have to raise their prices on their products, which then, or products and services, which then relates back to the consumer. Their prices are going to go up. So we need to get the small businesses grants, funding, education, some sort of business tutorials, anything that the small business can have a leg up in this economy. So I'm going to go fight for them.
Now, to read the national newspapers or the national TV, the overriding story, not so much here in the Rio Grande Valley, but just a little bit further upstream along the Rio Grande in Eagle Pass, it's all the discussion is border security and this impasse between Texas and the federal government. Do you have any views yourself on what should be done on border security?
Yeah, I mean, on border security, look, our district is a very conservative district. Almost everybody here has someone, a family member, a friend, neighbor is in law enforcement, whether it be a local police department, fire departments, customs, ICE, border patrol. You know, we need border security and we need to support those people. Now, the infighting between Washington and Texas, really, do they have nothing else better to do? I mean, why can't we work as a joint effort to get this thing done? If Abbott is out there securing portions of the border to help the Border Patrol, well, the last thing we need for them to do is to fight as to whose job it is to protect the border. If that hole in the border has been plugged and fixed by Abbott, great, Mr. Border Patrol agents, move on down the river and there's another hole somewhere else. We're all in this together. It's a major issue and we need to work together to secure the border.
Those are all the questions I had, John. Is there anything I've missed, anything else you'd like to add about your campaign and why the voters should be voting for you in the March primary?
Well, I mean, I think they should come out and vote just because look at the choices, look at the qualifications of the individuals running, and look at the education, look at the business experience, look at the background, and do you want to send someone to Washington that has my qualifications? And if the answer is yes, then I'm the right person to vote for. That's all I can ask people to do. If they don't think I'm qualified, you know, they don't think I'm the most educated or best experienced candidate, well then I'm not the right person to send.
John, thank you so much for today's interview. We've learned a lot about your race and your campaign.
Thank you very much for taking the time to do this.